Welcome back, folks. This time, budget-friendly dragons. A little bit of a departure from the normal sci-fi. However, the fi part does mean fantasy. So here we go. I found these dragons at my big box local store, Walmart. $1.60. Sometimes they're on sale for only $1. I picked up 4 of these. Recently I had gone back to check, and apparently there's more versions. There's a 2-headed version I didn't get. And there's a 28mm figure to show you how big these things are. Often dragons that are from various game systems can be pretty pricey. I've seen them $30 occasionally for a really big one or special one, up to $100, $120. And these being so cheap, I was to get all 4 of these for under $10. And improving them is pretty straightforward. Here I'm just doing a relatively quick, weak wash here. I'm not using any special brand of wash here. It's just watered down acrylic. And then actually put the acrylic pretty strong on there. And you'll see it beads off quite a bit. That's because of the type of plastic and paint job it is. But I only really want it in the details to make them pop. And just quick dry brush some white on all the teeth and claws and horns. If you want to see me do an epic mount, saddle, armor, and rider on something like this, go ahead and comment epic below for me. So I don't show painting all of them here. I really just focus on a couple. But really, I didn't even prep this very much. I just barely cleaned it with some alcohol and just started adding on some paint and some washes, and it ended up being pretty decent by the end, I would think. Definitely, if you need a dragon quick for a game, this is the route. I don't think it took very long to paint these up at all. Start working on the eyeball. Of course, that's a fine tip brush. Add a little bit of shade into some other parts of the face, just give it some depth. And I want to pick up a few of these little muscle lines here a little bit better. Just give them a little bit more definition. And just another light wash. We start giving some depth to all of the bony stuff here. Now, dragons do technically appear in Star Wars. We've got, in the very first Star Wars back in the 70s, there was a big old skeleton in the desert that was referred to as the Krayt dragon. And then fast forward to Mandalorian, and we have a greater Krayt dragon, whole episode with Tuskens there. And then even in the recent Mandalorian and Grogu movie, there was a kind of dragon-y character, a big old beautiful snake thing. Alright, and so here I've mixed up a light shade of purple to just kind of go through and do that high brushing to give it just a little bit more depth and have it pick up a little bit more detail on the highlights. And we just gradually work that up with adding a little bit more white here and there. And then just choose kind of where you want to pull detail out. But I definitely feel like if you play, Pathfinder, D&D, Classic Era, Warhammer, whatever, this would be a very affordable way to get yourself a dragon. And then if you were playing some sort of demon lord or something, you could go ahead and slap a saddle on this. I got a lot of various videos with riding beasts and stuff that I show you how to make saddles and things. So now we're getting in here with a nice kind of wash to really kind of pull together a wonderful gradient on all that bone stuff, and then even a little bit on the body itself here or there, just again to make details pop. I think it's important to mention how durable these are going to be. They'll flex, not break, and as much as you're going to handle them, that's a benefit. The next one here was this standing guy. He was originally red. All I did was washes and a little bit of dry brushing to make his details pop, and then same with his teeth and horns, just kind of dance on it a little bit. That's more or less the original one. And this one I dry brushed with some gold. More of an ancient dragon here. I think it looked kind of fantastic. And then I wanted to go a little bit different with the last guy. Now originally he was orange and kind of a yellowy red, and I didn't show it. I thought I filmed it, but I didn't. Or maybe I lost the footage anyway. So I had covered this entire guy in a thin coat of black Mod Podge. Now the reason I had initially done that is because this kind of soft rubber does not take spray paint very well. In fact, if you try to spray paint this without that barrier between, it's going to remain sticky forever, and it might rub off on stuff, and that'd just be a nightmare. So the little bit of a barrier that I put on there allowed me to do a zenithal spray paint with this kind of Kelly green, hunter green, and that bright sunflower yellow on the underside to kind of get this more, you know, European, atypical, classic dragon. And then I was just dancing on some of the colors here. Metallic green to help pop the top. Eventually I have the white base on the eye so I can come back in here with the yellow so that yellow pops better. Let's get a little bit of contrasting red into the mouth just to give that some depth. Now this same dragon here I had used in another build, and really what I did was just lop off that bottom jaw and use that jaw on another riding beast. I will put that link in the video. That was a challenge with Cheap and Easy Wargaming to make a kind of riding beast. Check that guy out, he's got some good videos. Anyway, so I have this other dragon, virtually the same as this green one, without a bottom jaw. And I kind of thought, leaning back into sci-fi, back into fantasy, maybe a little bit of Rifts, kind of GURPS influenced stuff, I might do a cyberpunked out kind of mechanical jaw and augments and laser eyes and all kinds of crazy stuff on that. Maybe put a big old rider on that guy. I'm in the middle of a move, so I won't be able to do that right away, but if you would like to see me do a cyber dragon, a kind of cyborg dragon, maybe comment cyborg below, so I know you guys like to see that. It is that time of the video. If you've made it this far and you like my content, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and subscribe. I try to get a video out every week. I have a huge backlog. I'm sure I've got something that'll be useful for you. If you don't want to miss out on future cool things, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the glamour shots. On the table, these dragons would be fantastic. It would be super easy to put them on a flight stand to where it looks like they're flying at you. If you wanted to put them on a basic stand with some gold horde, you could do that. Hey folks, thanks for hanging out. You're awesome. Have a great day.